left Lagos where in day, landed at Nsukka. He said when he got to Nsukka, there are a lot of crowd milling around Zeke's Onui Heaven, his residence. He said one go see Zeke. When he went there, interviewed the man, recorded it. After when he came out, he said Zeke is alive. And the newspapers in Enugu were writing rubbish. So that is when the guy is known that he said, look, if they can't, their correspondent did not go to verify, they can't carry it. I'm telling you, because you
Not
never know that
just
they are
not
even
just
so
that,
that
CM. That rigging in Rivers that it was BBC that carried it. If Nigeria was a real country, it should have been Nigerian people that
that
should
we
have
carry it.
pressed, that should
Exactly,
have
that we
carried it.
carry. Because the real journalism means go to the spot. If you hear say one man kill a lion and you go there. As you there, people go they see him. You will be talking to your host station. They will see it. So that is what they call honesty. That's reporting. Because they said the biggest job, the biggest person you respect in any media organization is the reporter. Not the editor where their office then go they give her. Now the reporter will go the field, will go there say, look, as far as I know, this is the Chicago State University. Look at the compound and everything we show. You say, this is where I am. This is the department the guy is supposed to attend. This is the head of department. I'm with him now. Now I'm talking to him. You hear what they will say. That is how to do it. But our
You,
media won't do all this.
they
Eh?
will never do all that. Listen, CM, that's you're right on that one, but that's not our main issue. Being at the main event of the news
Mm.
is getting the news to our people. Is the
Yeah.
biggest issue.
Of
That's
course, we are
what
not get we are
so
not getting it. We are not getting it to consume it ourselves. That is when you see. That is when that is when you now go there. People go say, "Is that so?" You say, "Oh, this is the only the media that went to
media.
that Chicago." We now see.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is the way the Chicago signboard is. So this because you show it when you
And
show it, say
very
this is
soon, all
where
the
it is.
other copy and paste media will start copying you to
They
share
will be
because
quoting you.
they
They
don't have
didn't have
something on that.
because that
So,
is
and
journalism.
apart from that, if this media is out there and the people can link up through the internet or whatever means they can link up, then you now start donating small receivers for transportation companies like inside buses, Molue, so that will be the station they will be tuned into when they are traveling from one spot to the other. So
To the other,
you're not just in their bedroom and their living room, you are on the street. So they
exactly.
will hear you.
It's true. There should
Remember,
be because.
Gobel became the best propagandist because
Mm,
they gave every German a transistor radio. That
radio.
was how that devil became popular.
Mm.
Hitler, remember that. If not for the invention of that transistor radio that was placed in the house of every German citizen, Hitler would never have had that popularity he had. Although that's
It's
a
true
bad
that
example.
it's true that there is need to because this Tinubu something the coverage really show that Nigeria has got no media at
No
all.
media, no media.
Nigeria has got no media.
And
Even
if there's
okay,
no media, we
if
need to provide it.
even if, do you know it can work the other way. You feel go to Chicago yourself as a media and you
Yeah.
want to interview and they block you. You can also report it that look we want to see to the end of this, but when you get to Chicago, maybe Chicago is playing hardball. You also report that so that people will say this is a credible media. Look at where they've gone, and they will insist they will do it, they will do it, they will do it. They go there and they interview them, say tell us what really happened, and when you are saying it you show evidence, and even before you do you might say tune in so time our correspondence is in Chicago State University to go and see to the end whether the thing is really true. But when all these things are
Yeah,
happening, yes,
just
I
like
know
when I
some.
went to that Chicago the last time, I should have recorded that librarian as she was talking to me that I came for that yearbook. Remember, Mr. Elvis, that I
Okay,
sent you that
okay,
Yeah,
email.
exactly.
okay, okay. Yeah. I know. We know, but
But put all this aside, I got to go now. Put everything aside. Talk to people, talk to experts, talk to bankers, talk to
mm,
technicians, talk to people who know about all these things. The more and to
exactly.
talk to your professor, we have to
Mm,
expand. We just
we
have
have
no
to
choice
expand.
on this thing.
It's true
I love
because
you
Mr.
all.
Naija Watch, Mr.
Mm,
Naija Watch,
Yeah.
I am speaking to you directly now. It might look like a prophetic word. You open your studio in London, have it set up with your software that will that will stream 5K or 8K, whatever you want it to be streaming. Then you give us a freelance so that we can do some advert for you, both in Nigeria and wherever we are located. Then we all will find a way to contribute and make a billboard in
Of course.
Nigeria and some other place for you.
Of course.
Mr. Rayawatch, let me just say this, as I support everything, but I will just say this, just only this. As far as if you are committed to it, as far as financing is concerned, you can take it to the bank. That will be achieved. I can say that, yeah, But again, it's all your decision.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, everybody that have contributed to this. You see, I'm happy that at the end of the day, everybody get to understand where I was coming from, that we don't have any single media in Nigeria that can really, really, do the
It's
right
true.
thing.
It's
Yes,
true.
now, check it now. Throughout the whole campaign of the election and all that, tell me which of the media can you actually rely on?
No
The,
one.
so it's terrible. Thank you, Engineer Francis, for coming in. Good evening to you, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Engineer
Maybe it's
Francis.
not.
Okay, the network is not stable yet.
Maybe his network. Is he coming? Where is he
Sorry,
coming from?
can I make a contribution, if that's okay?
Yes, Mr. Samuel. Yes, thank you, sir.
Oh, okay,
Good
yeah,
evening.
because I came in yesterday, waited for us to make a contribution. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I don't know. Many people were talking, and well, the discussion was quite lively and really instructive. I mistakenly pressed a button and the whole stream disappeared, so I couldn't get in again yesterday. I'm sorry. I wanted to make an important contribution concerning the topics we've been discussing over the last few days, especially regarding this Tinubu certificate issue, or the man known as Bola Tinubu, that we don't really know whether he's Melchizedek. We we don't know his origin and everything about him, really. So yes, the news today is that he was invited for an interview, which he declined. Though it's still a developing story, really. Probably in the next few days we'll get to know the details of that. Yet the resistance that he put up was anticipated, and then the alleged snobbery by Joe Biden was also expected, given that Tinubu did not proceed with what they advised him to do, to go to war with Niger Republic, which would have been a catastrophic adventure. I think David Hundeyin really blew, the lead on the secret plans to deploy the Nigerian military to invade Niger Republic, and it was part of the reason why he declared war on David. And then regarding the certificate issue, some people were saying yesterday that we should give immense credit to Mr. Atiku Abubakar, that he's been fighting for the obedient. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Mr. Abubakar, to be honest. He's fighting his own battles, really. Whatever he's doing is for his personal gains. He's not really working for the youth, and future generations, to be honest, because during the election period, you remember that he refused to give audience to the people. Several attempts were made to interview him. I think Ruben succeeded in taking one to do Abiola to his house, and that was a charade. That was nonsense. Clear nonsense. Atiku refused to to honor town hall meetings. Mr. Tinubu was even worse. So the both of them are just different symptoms of same disease, to be honest. And I think if we are to even give credit, to someone on account of the Chicago Gate, it should be David Hundeyin, because all these things all the work had been done by David Hundeyin, to be honest. If you read West Africa Weekly, David went in an extra length to review everything, get documents and the rest of them. But the reason why Atiku is going is because of Nigeria's judiciary. They may not accept that evidence from the work done by Hyundai, because they will say it wasn't Atiku that subpoenaed Chicago State University. So he's just trying to repeat essentially what David Hyundai has done, and yeah. So yes, we are hoping, the next few hours, the Chicago judge or whatever will grant Atiku access to the documents, in Chicago State University, because that will go a long way to unravel who really this guy is. Even if the so-called Nigerian judiciary doesn't do anything worthwhile with the evidence, at least Nigerians would see, who this man is, and then, we'll trace further where he's from in the first place. So regarding the media, because sometimes some people will ask, why doesn't the Southeast own any media station? Why the media in Nigeria is not even media? It's just a few outfits owned by politicians. And like you mentioned, the rules of the Nigerian Broadcasting um, Corporation, or whatever it is called, they are quite strict, and there are no rules really, because if you go by those their rules, there'll be no media, and there is no media really. So the whole stuff in Nigeria, mainstream media, is just a big joke, to be honest. And I think there was something someone said that I wanted to yes. So regarding the Rivers State, um the election in Rivers State, I think someone mentioned that it was BBC that did the work. Nope, it was Premium Times. Even the BBC editorial, still mentioned that it was from a Nigerian, that a Nigerian tabloid or news outfit had done background work on that. So the foreign media, probably they used to do some background work, but in the last 10 years, sorry, they rely mostly on what they copy from Punch, Vanguard, what Premium Times, Sahara Reporters, and the rest. So they just copy and paste. Really, they are not anywhere. Even themselves, they are quite corrupt. If you read David Hundeyin's work on BBC, they are quite very, very corrupt, and they break every rules known to any certain media organization. So that's basically what I wanted to chip in. Thank you very much for the wonderful work you've been doing, and thank you very much for to the panelists, CM, Jonathan, Black Panther. Give us our mandates. All eyes on the judiciary. One love, Engineer Francis. All right. Bye.
Major Watch, are you there?
I think he's muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Major Watch.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel, for your wonderful submission. Thank you. Yes, let me see. Engineer Francis, we were calling you earlier on. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I am here.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Talk to us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, guys. I'm glad you guys have moved up to here. And this is knocking on my back door. Now, let me tell you what it will entail. because you guys have mentioned it on air right now. I hope that that loophole we would have capitalized on will still be there. But for the purpose of calling them out, that's why I want to make a speech. So whoever is hearing it on air will know that we know. Okay, to get this thing done, the licensing will come from NCC, and NCC will be the one that will license the frequency spectrum, the frequency range that you will need to be transmitting to radios and TVs. Right now in Nigeria, all those frequency ranges are uh, ones that you can say they can license you. But there is a particular range, and I'm going to mention it here now because it is still, as we speak, it is still free. So if this man in Asarok goes to now block that particular range, that's the 900 megahertz frequency spectrum, we can configure whatever equipment you have to be able to transmit at that range. Because this thing has come to the air now, I am afraid that this man will go to block it. That way he will have control over the entire everything. You can even be transmitting from the US, from Russia at that same spectrum. So that's, in fact, I was on the background listening, but when you guys came to this one, I knew immediately that you guys have actually opened the Pandora's box. It would have been better done privately, and
You're right. You're right.
with nobody knowing. But now, I bet you this man's people will start trying to see how they can now frustrate that particular spectrum, that frequency range. But yes, there are equipments that we can configure that will help in transmitting it to everybody's radios. So just hang in there, because there is the one good thing about every country having a free range is that you cannot block it all through. Because if you do, that is a serious security risk to your country. Because there are some things that might come from outside that you may not even be able to detect now. So every country has that particular range that they live, which is like in America, that's where the range that all these ham radio operators use. They don't even need to go to the FCC here, which is the NCC in Nigeria, to register that they are transmitting on that range. They can be transmitting from their house to wherever. So definitely it is very, very doable. And that, but whatever free spectrum they have, we can work within that. Because I know if you go to those spectrum that Arise and channels use, definitely they will try to hamstring you and make sure that they gag your mouth and control what you say. But in these areas, you can operate freely. So there's a way we can get it done. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Francis. Thank you very much. Yes, any further discussion concerning this can be taken privately. Thank you very much. All right, my people. Wait to give us a Monday talk earlier on. We finally end up on it in the second broadcast. So please, everybody, just talk as you like now, and then you can, if you're tired, you can go to bed. So when I say we have like 2 or 3 left, then we can end the show. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you listening to me. Thanks for your support, for your good wishes and all that. I just want to say I'm grateful to have you all as a family. We argue here all the time. but the love remains. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May God bless you all. I'm not a perfect person. I'm here to learn every day, the same way you all are here learning, and many people joining us every day, learning from us as well. I appreciate every one of you. I would like to leave the platform for everybody on the panel right now. Just talk when we are done. If you do it for 1 hour or so, then we can round up. But we should try not to make it more than 2 hours. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sirs. Everybody. Give us a minute. You still there, so because now you initiate this one, I also you never sleep.
I go sleep. Maybe there for which time? 6 something now.
Okay, now time really now let me our gas him. Now be like say different for you. Eh? Oga CM, you just you said what? You mute yourself. Or I don't know what they talk.
See where they pass through window.
Nah.
All right.
Okay.
You are good now. Leave it. We can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Now Peter be talking. Say we agree. You can pass through window. Say you want clean house. You go pass through door. That man can drop a headline. Say you can pass through this thing. It's true. Of course now. So what am I saying?
Mr. Naja, I forget to drop all those United Nations speech, which have been followed up by heads of state.
Who
And
gives?
I forgot to drop, but I have it on my where I saved it anyway, and I will send it to you later on.
Magbado speech.
No, be Agbado. I'm talking about the speech made by that one. Get speech. I'm talking about a speech made by the Kenyan president and the Congo, the military junta in Guinea-Bissau. But that one was fantastic.
No, it be like saying that those chaps don't take over. Look at that Kenyan chap. He don't they rise like Mandela, to be honest.
That guy gave a speech, carry one paper. Paper. Carry one paper, carry.
My Agbado go there read the news. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
For them.
Jesus Christ.
You see that thing where we discuss here, Mr. CM, I think you there around. We discuss about Africa.
Africa, which time? You don't go. Black Panther.
So I wanted to say something about this about these channels, how did Arise TV and the rest of them. I think when Arise started, I think they were, a bit objective, and, but in the long run, as they were recruiting people, later Ruben Abati joined them. I know Ruben Abati has his own baggage, which, of course, he used to be a very ruthless journalist till he joined politics, and I think he saw his hands, and so since then, each time, for example, when Rufai was making a comment about the court proceedings at Chicago, I think Tinubu's lawyer made mention of the documents, if released, causing severe and irreparable harm. So when Rufai was analyzing it, Ruben was trying to say, oh, no, it's just severe harm. It's not irreparable, just severe, just semantics, this and that. So I think each time they want to, the few persons, that try to speak up, they're, being harassed, threatened, and, maligned by, unfortunately, some youths, a majority of Nigerian youths have woken up and they have said an emphatic no to bad governance and administrative incorrigibility. reigning supreme in Nigeria. But you still have, some youths still pandering to the whims of the political class. So that's the bane of the media, to be honest. I remember when Jonathan was in power, those media houses were giving the impression, that they were forthright, they were inviting all sorts of people, and there were no holds barred arguments. Everybody was just saying whatever he wanted, and they were saying, yes, it's freedom of information, this and that. But when this APC came to power, it was as if all the media houses went dumb. They have been shaking, they have not been able to, be objective. When you watch channels TV, they will be saying the achievements of Bola Tinubu in the last 2 weeks. When he came on, and they were everywhere. I remember one guy on Arise TV, each time he'll be saying the achievements recorded, removal of fuel subsidy, student loans, this, so and so. And you'll be wondering, are these guys just looking for appointments? Because that was what one of them did just before the election. And before you could say Jack Robinson, he had been appointed as social media advisor in the Tinubu campaign organization. So I think it's their way of looking for appointments as well, because they have dissolved almost all the parastatals and boards, and they will appoint people into those positions. So the likes of Reno Mokri and some other media hallelujah boys are all over the place, still, even at that, still singing praises. Oh, the achievements of Bola Tinubu. Since this Chicago stuff came up, in the past, they used to invite Tinubu's media boys, social media boys, to interview. Since this thing came up, none of them has been able to grant any interview. And it's like the journalists are afraid to even ask those questions. What they do nowadays is this Arabanbi guy, and what's the name of his co-traveler? The one that calls himself factional chairman.
The native doctor.
Yeah. So, so what they do, because it seems like Tinubu has given them a lot of money.
Please don't forget, you know that Pampas, he said all the lawyers will come brief him. You remember when he talked? He said he wants all the lawyers. All this.
So it's like Tinubu has given them a lot of money. So what they do is that they buy time, they buy interview time from all these from Arise. So even I think 2 days ago, they were there on Arise boasting that they will expel Peter Obi from the party. They will not give him 2020 and some very ridiculous things they mentioned. They won't give him 2027 ticket because Peter Obi was bad market for the media. In the past, during elections or before elections, all the two political parties will buy up all the time in the media talking rubbish. So when Peter Obi came up and garnered massive followership, especially among the young people, so Peter Obi will not
go the hand again.
So, and he will not buy up time for he would even go himself to the interview. In fact, the first few months, he was granting interview to almost every media space. You understand? Every media space, and anywhere, Twitter, radio, television, everywhere. Then I think just maybe a few months to the election, when they constituted the campaign council and all the media, so the likes of Dele Farotimi, Kenneth Okonkwo, Kato, and then now took over, and so Peter Obi wasn't the kind of person that would give them any money. And because Peter Obi was in the scene, the likes of PDP and APC, they disappeared. So maybe
Brother,
once in a
can I
while.
interject you and buttress your point?
Yeah.
You see, you were talking about the press and Peter Obi. You
Yes.
see, Peter Obi brought truth to the table. Peter Obi had the reason why they didn't go to the press to talk all these their shenanigans. Peter Obi brought a challenge to them because Peter Obi knew them, and Peter Obi came out and blow out everything. He was speaking in parable, and he was telling us the problem we have, and this is how I will solve the problem. Remember, I always say Nigeria problem is simple.
Yes.
But these people cannot challenge this man's simplicity and the ideal backing him. Because he told them, go all out, including the press. Anywhere you have found me corrupt, I will step down. That was the greatest challenge he gave them. And the press was ready for them to bring the challenge, and they couldn't. Because all the two parties, PDP and APC, had nothing to offer. But it was glaring that it was only Peter Obi that had something to offer. So they don't want to come and try to lie. Because anything they say, they will lie. Because Peter Obi has spelled out the truth.
Yes. And then even some of the things that Peter Obi was saying then, like you mentioned, he said some things in parables that we didn't even understand till now. Like he mentioned something I think 2016, that when you go to an asylum, or where they keep mad people, and then the mad people will attack you, they will put up a resistance. So trying to change Nigeria or sacking the corrupt political class will not be a tea party, that they will fight. And you are seeing the fight now. They will fight back with ferocity, through the judiciary, who, in fact, I think, and even they themselves have convinced us that some of those judges are card-carrying members of political parties. Yeah, the likes of Bukachua, them, and the rest of them. So they could be card-carrying members of political parties, and maybe when they retire, the next thing you will hear is that they are contesting for governorship, and you will be saying, "Oh, no wonder," So they will fight back. The way Tinubu fought back when the judge told Chicago State University to release the documents within 48 hours. And they have foreign collaborators as well. Because all these UK, US, France, and the rest of them, they are benefiting massively from what's happening in Nigeria, from Africa. Each time they will say climate change, green energy, all those their stuff. They will go to African countries and harvest sources of electricity. Those places where they are mining all those things and using underage children to do hard labor, those people will suffer, and they will displace some people. Some people will be displaced. Thousands of people will be displaced from their homes, and they will mine wherever, and then take to Europe and say they are doing green energy. I think sometime, what was it last year, early this year, one of my cousin came to me and said, "Oh, she was happy that Ethiopia are doing green energy." I told her, "Look, green energy, climate, planting of trees is not the most important thing for Ethiopians now." Average Ethiopian, is more worried about potable water, access to basic education, shelter. Many people are homeless in Ethiopia. and a white woman is telling me to start celebrating planting of trees. I told her, look, this is not, she's my she was my boss, but I told her, look, planting of trees is not important to Ethiopians now. You see, so they will harvest all those things from Africa and then go and be claiming green energy. Why did Germany start mining coal after Russia invaded Ukraine? Germany cancelled all the breached all the climate rules and said they will start mining coal. But if it was an African country, you know,
China did the same thing.
So they have foreign collaborators. And why people were saying, oh, that David Hunde should go to US and or UK, I was just laughing, you know, because they will use him as bargaining chip, you know. So they have foreign collaborators and they are all in the same boat. That's why the West, you know, wouldn't want someone like P2B to come up. You know, but if someone like P2B comes in, you know, it's bye-bye to whatever the West, you know, they are benefiting. He will not do that like Murtala Mohammed, you know, like start issuing decrees. He's very diplomatic. He will be smiling with them, but he will end, he will block wherever they are eating from, you know. So, you know, and that's the big advantage we have in somebody like him. He's very diplomatic.
Brother,
yeah.
Can I interject you? You see,
Yeah.
we all are having that notion, or that, let me say, the mindset. Our mindset is already, will I say, is sort of somehow positioned in such a way that we are really seeing things in a different, in a dimension of, how will I put it? We are seeing Peter Obi will, you know, somehow stop or block all the Western shenanigans they have been dealing with Nigerian politicians. The way I see it is that Peter Obi will not do that. Peter Obi has already stated that he is a trader. And Peter Obi will be very happy to trade with the West.
Yes.
What Peter Obi wants is that there should be a market whereby Nigeria can produce and give, not Nigeria bringing the raw material to the West, but use the raw material, produce, then give to the West too. Let us make it, give me, I give you.
And for them to come through the front door, not through the window.
God bless you. God bless you. They should come to the front door. Let us sit down. Peter Obi is going to give them a good deal than what even these people are giving them. If you want to come and mine uranium in Nigeria, come and set up an industry. You know, Peter Obi did it before. Come and set up an industry that will employ 80% of the people, and your expatriate should be so percentage. It's going to give them a good deal because we are even lesser in terms of wages. It's even better in Africa. But what is there is that our politicians are just thinking about the kind of, their thinking is so myopic, and they want to follow the trajectory of that mono economy where you bank on the oil alone. You don't bank on what the oil can be used for, what you can get from the oil and sell to even your neighboring state that you can make billions of dollars from. They are not really thinking. Their focus is just to steal the money, siphon the oil. And can you imagine when a politician will be telling a politician that, oh, the government should block this where we steal. The money is too much. We are tired of stealing. You can see that. You can see how deep the stealing and how deep the Nigerian problem is. For a politician to tell the government that they should block all the loopholes, that we are tired of stealing. That is what they don't have anything upstairs to do for the Nigerian people, but just to tell the white man to come, steal our mineral resources, and give him my own 20% share. That is what they are all about doing.
You see, they are putting our grandchildren even in deeper trouble. I heard that they just borrowed another $700 million. So, and that is
Okay.
money they will get and share, and our grandchildren are the ones that will pay this thing. So, I have no idea why. I don't know. This country is horrible. I mean, the people you send to be the dog catchers now ended up being the dogs themselves.
Even this fuel subsidy regime that we've been talking about, and then they say, oh, that we don't know those people behind the importation of petroleum or sharing the fuel subsidy money. We know them, don't we know them? They are occupying seats in Aso Rock. We know, no, even if we don't know anybody, we know Tinubu. Nobody can convince me that Tinubu is not part of the fuel subsidy cartel. Because when Jonathan wanted to remove it, he protested vehemently against it. So what they did is that they instead of subsidizing fuel and eating 70 to 80% of the money, so they now increase the price of petrol, and then Nigerians are now paying them directly to eat. So instead of them making a budget now and even subsidizing the petrol to an extent, they're now taking 100%. So what they did basically was to increase the pump price of petroleum.
One
So
thing
now they are paying subsidy through the back door. Very soon now, they will make it public, and then they'll continue sharing the money. Because even
that
Buhari himself announced that he had removed subsidy a number of times, and each time he will just hike the price of petroleum product.
you know what that means? That means that we are paying twice
Yeah,
because the money he was supposed to use for subsidies, he took it out, making
yeah,
us pay $600. I mean 600 naira at the pump,
mm,
which means no subsidy. So that money from the one we're paying and the one he took out, somebody
yeah.
is pocketing that money. But anyway, one thing I am hoping is that his handlers don't go far into this thing with Joe Biden for one reason. Joe Biden had two sons. He has two sons. One of them, uh, Bo,
Yeah.
died. The one that's remaining is Hunter. And guess what? Even right now, here in the US, Hunter was indicted on a
Yeah,
gun charge. And the
good job.
and the indictment, from the details I read on it, it's like when he was under the influence of drugs.
Sorry,
Okay,
Engineer Francis.
mm,
Sorry to, I don't mean to actually cut you.
go ahead.
How many of us remember the guy that went on Channel's TV to go say that Tinubu is his classmate?
Oh yeah.
Arise TV, as it, they invited him for an interview. You know what happened?
What?
The guy declined.
Of course, he
No,
cannot.
he
He
went to
doesn't.
TVC, right?
Yeah,
No,
sorry,
no.
TVC.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
TVC.
Now,
Yeah,
TVC.
TVC. He was TVC.
yeah,
So Arise invited him. Now the guy declined.
because he doesn't have the facts. But anyway, back to this Hunter Biden's issue. Joe Biden, remember, even at the time Tinubu was committing his drug crimes, Joe Biden
Mhm.
was the Senate committee chairman on the judiciary. And they actually crafted a lot of the punishment with regard to drug offenses. Joe Biden is a hurting father. whenever he sees Hunter, being addicted or being influenced by drugs. So don't expect him to come and shake hands with a drug dealer. And there's a way they will push it. It will mean touching the tail of the tiger. So they should stay away. Even this thing they are pushing in Chicago, and the ones they are pushing with the FBI trying to do those delay stuff, they better know when to stop. Because Joe Biden personally, that drug, the effect of that drug that man was dealing, personally visited his home. And in fact, that is what is even leading to Hunter being indicted now. So as far as I'm concerned, Tinubu should know where to draw the line.
But do you trust Joe Biden?
Oh, as
Joe is not someone you can trust.
As far as drugs is concerned, and as far as Hunter, his only remaining son, is concerned, believe me, Joe Biden is a wounded man. So whatever he may have side for in the past, fine. Don't mess with Hunter or get him to remember what brought Hunter into this gun charge, which is this drug issue. So the less he sees or hears about Tinubu, the better it is for both of them.
Like I have said earlier on, like my submission earlier on, and I said one thing, that there's one thing that America does not forgive when it comes to something that will hinder their national security, America, or something that will hinder the national security, and two, drug. America is the only country on earth that have followed a cartel leader from his hometown to when he became a senator, and when he became a president, America went in there and pulled him out. America does not forgive drug cartel people. They never.
And at that time, remember, Joe Biden was the chairman of the Senate committee that crafted.
God bless you, sir. Joe Biden in the Senate, he was the hardest nut to crack.
Oh yeah, definitely. They shouldn't take that he looks aged. They shouldn't take it to mean that he forgot. He doesn't. He was Attorney General in Delaware before he even became a senator.
Hey, gentlemen, let me go and sleep, please. It's night
time. CF, you won't go through the door now, go sleep. After jumping through the window.
Not be through the door, I take off. No. Be like say, Obi we talk that thing, no they laugh. No, they laugh. No. Obi no laugh.
But he was telling the truth, that's why he didn't laugh.
That guy, I don't know if you forget that parable. If I forget that, if I remember jump through the window, I say Obi kill them. He messed all of them up.
The thing with Obi is that Obi is fearless, as you see him. They fear. Saying
they fear anybody.
Say in call commissioners in cabinet. Say why invest in Anambra money for nothing. Make it supply them. They say nothing we start yesterday. You never know car we never pass quality check. When the brake fail now, he kill people on Obi say no. We go buy him. If he kill, make he kill. If brake fail, make he fail. Those where go die, make them die. Where go live, make them live. He said till today, nobody don't die. He said till today.
Yeah, because he will be, is a seasoned businessman, and our problem, in Nigeria is that we are not diligent enough to go investigate. Someone may call himself commissioner for this, commissioner of that. He wouldn't even have time to read things thoroughly and even investigate things. Go visit places, check out. Hiobi would have, visited a guy who have even followed up from, because he innocent. I followed
We
him.
know they talk go long way. We not trust each other. That is the final say. Nigerian man, every man don't trust each other.
It's true.
Because if you produce something, you're supposed to be happy that your product, your own fellow brother produce them, and you go buy from them in order to encourage them, so that it go fit, we make them free, make them plenty for people to buy, thereby reducing and competing with other cars, and we'll be proud. There's one thing about it. We should have pride on the eye as a Nigerian, as we produce our own thing. But because of the level of, and everybody, because of corruption in a corrupt state, you cannot trust anybody now. It's just like carrying drug cartel. They don't trust themselves. Because what you know, I know.
It's true.
That is the problem with Nigeria. That's why I see no Nigerian government will encourage local manufacturing, neither will it encourage scientific production. They cannot encourage any scientific thing at all. Because they cannot trust anybody.
Think about this. If Innocent were to be a Hausa man, and this his thing assemblies in Kaduna or Kano, is that your same position?
Yes,
think about the
I can give you evidence now.
No, think about the kind of help they are giving to Dangote.
No, not producing anything. I don't understand that. Dangote in a package, man.
No, but Dangote produce cement and he produce cement now. He produce sugar now.
No, they send import in the
you know they produce any sugar. They bring that brown sugar. You call bleach for in refinery. That is what he's doing.
For
cement,
now cement they buy and dust, then come rebag it.
Come rebag them. That is what he's doing. Now packaging they do. There's one boy in the north. There's one guy in the north. He's a graduate. He produced electric car. He can't put them to electric buses. Then what is used now? He started putting it in a regular bus, converting it to electric. But still, the government of his government are not encouraging him. The boy is going to build a charging station. If you like, Google it, you see it in Google. He said he's going to build a charging station all over his state, but still, the government is not encouraging him. It's all over the country. Nobody trusts each other. If you bring her from north to south, go say, I know the bad. Honorary Suya. People then start to reject Suya. They say, Boko Haram, the people inside Suya for Lagos. We don't trust each other. The problem. That is why a national way we go, a national we need to sit and talk as brother and sister, so that we confess our sin in front of each other. But what do I do? Now this happen. How are we going to live as one? What is the essence of we fighting and destroying our brother's house? What is the essence of we saying we cannot live like brother? Want to use religion? Well, of us coming for this world, they damage each other. Why? What are the reasons? What are we claiming on earth that want to carry to heaven? Can't we be proud of Nigeria being the giant of Africa, controlling the entire West and East Africa market, going to the North Africa, controlling market? Can we produce our own jets? Can we produce our own helicopters? Can we produce our drone? We have men that have the techniques all over the diaspora. They can come in to bring that knowledge into our children so that we can be able to manufacture it. We can manufacture robotic system. This AI they talk. We have people that have the technology in diaspora. They can come in and impact into people in Nigeria, whereby we can start producing. We need to have a platform where we can contest, we can compete with what is going to come into the world in a very in 10 years or 20 years time. We go in a way that even Africa will not understand if we don't pick our tent now. That is it. But will the Alpha Fulani, are they ready to sit down and talk? Okay, let's bring GJ meeting we had. Let us bring it and explain it. That is it. That is my own fact. I already with them. Thank you.
It's true. It's true. We need to Nigeria. GEG almost succeeded with that 2014 conference, but that is what Nigeria needs. Change our constitution, give us a brand new constitution, then we take off. But Obi will do it. I know the man is not he's not daft. He's very intelligent and he knows exactly. He won't pander to the wishes of the big men now. No, he won't.
Lie.
He can never. I trust. You know, he will even say no.
Yeah, but I have a question though. With everything that is happening to this guy called Amoda Adekunle Ogunlere, the husband of Remi, the father of Sheyi in Chicago, do the so-called cabals that did all of these shenanigans, and then even Mahmoud Yakub. Now, Wole Soyinka is not speaking now. How are they feeling with all of this now?
Let me tell you their feeling. Can I tell you their feeling?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Let me tell you, every Nigerian politicians are greedy. 1. Every Nigerian politicians are opportunists. 2. Every Nigerian politicians are backstabber. 3. And those qualities, if we put them together, they are praying to God that the obedience should disgrace him and drop him so that they will come in. I am telling you the fact. That's politicians for you. The syndrome of turn by turn is greed that brought that syndrome. So they are waiting. They are not, look, Nigerian politicians are never ashamed. Some are going there to fight. May they not bring out the document, blah, 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 blah. But they will be at the back. Okay, look at Abiola case. Is it not his own people that is inside that tore him apart? That is how the Nigerian politicians, their mindset and their behavior. They are never satisfied. They are always greedy. That is their lifestyle. They are ready to backstab you and have the opportunity to themselves. That is what they believe in. That is their mentality. That is their ideology. They cannot break out from it. That is why we are trying as much as possible. By the time the last man, the 99th man, will stand up out of 100%, by the time the 99 man will stand up and say, yes, we want to take it, we are ready, they will all run out. They will all run out. They will all run out. They know. They know. They themselves, they prophesy it. Obasanjo just said it. Dino Milali said it. When the time is near, that's why I'm saying I am afraid for the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court have to change the baton to the people to make justice now, then they will not see how the people will rise and deal with these politicians you're seeing. It happened in Calabar, where most people, I don't know if you people know what happened in Calabar, where they raided the home of a senator. They burnt it down.
Okay, yes,
now,
I think I heard that.
Yes. So we are getting closer. It's not going to be like what they say, WAR. The thing we are getting closer that everybody will go to his tent and deal with his own brother. Because the Supreme Court is either they go the right way or they hand the mantle of judgment to the people. And when they make the wrong judgment and they hand over that mantle of judgment to the people will do justice to every one of them. That is why I said I am afraid. It looks as if the people are docile. all the juju where they use it, it looks as if they are people of Nigeria are docile. But when the matches that glows, that the glowing of the matches, when it sparks, you scratch it, it has a frictional force, and the fire comes out. The fire comes out little, in a little way. But when you throw that stick into the wilderness of dry grasses, you will see the flame will come up. That is how it is. The flame, that grasses that are dead, those Nigerians, you think that they are docile. When that flame comes into them, they will start doing what? Burning like a fire, and the flame will go like that. It starts just like that, and you will see all the military and the police, all of them will throw arm. They will throw the arm down because they cannot do it. Because if they have to do it that way, oh boy, forget about it. Because this is going to lead to a dimension where they will not believe their eyes. Because Nigeria is at the edge to about to fall into a very deep hole. But are we going to allow it to go that trajectory? No. So the 99 man that will get the flame and take it up, we are waiting. Let the judiciary do and hand over that battle to us. That is what I'm with. That's why I say I am afraid for them, because they might be the one to put the spark. It might look gentle. It might look, everybody might talk, but it might not happen that day. They will just hand over that battle to the people. But it's going to start quietly, smoothly. Before you know it, it will just go boom. That is all. And what you'll be hearing, United Nations is sending whatever peaceful, whatever crap they normally do. That is how the Sudan own system happened. They told them, give us South Sudan. Take North Sudan, give us South. United Nations left it where it now exploded. They now started coming in and started talking all their crap, while many souls have gone. Now that it is coming up like a small flake of snow, they don't want to come, they don't want to talk, because they always allow the African state to blow up before they will talk, so that they can go in there and steal the national resources. That is their mindset. But this time around, the people are going to clean their house. They have started cleaning their house in Burkina Faso. They started in Guinea. They started in our next door neighbor here. It's going to go like that. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue. I bet you it's going to continue.
Well, yeah. Thank you very much for your submission. But I beg to differ with you regarding two things. Let me start from the last one. The house cleaning you mentioned, in Burkina Faso. I for one, I'm not a fan of military incursions. To be honest, because these same things happened in Nigeria a number of times, and on each occasion, the people would rejoice for a while, but at the end of the day, that jubilation would, become transient, because the military will now show their true colors. I don't, really think that all these military incursions in Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, Niger, would solve their problems. The best
Let me go and see.
revolution is a revolution by the people.
Let me give
Lafata,
you Patrick.
I
Let me
go see
give
you
you
now
Patrick.
tomorrow.
Let me give you
Please.
Patrick Henry.
My good night. May I see
All
you
right.
now
Good night, CM.
I have
Patrick
something
Henry. Good night, CM.
Yeah, good night.
Good night.
Patrick Henry was the founding father of the American freedom of speech. And with regard to freedom, Patrick Henry was the one that you may have heard it quoted in areas where it says, "Give me freedom or give me death." Nigeria is about to get to that point. So whether it be through military or not, they do not care anymore. Yeah, you don't like military. I don't like military either. But I'm quite sure that I prefer military, the ones that I have seen, to what is going on now. Because with this one that is going on now, okay, I'll give you a very good example. David Hundeyin, he's in hiding. Why? Because we have a civilian government. Civilian government is supposed to be going by the law. And the law, if the DSS has anything on him, they should take it to court and then secure an indictment before they start looking for him. Here, they are looking for him before they even go to court. So is it better than the civilian government? What kind of nonsense are we practicing there? You take somebody, you just go and arrest somebody on a suspicion or maybe on the word of somebody, go arrest him, put him in jail before you even start the investigation, before you even take him to court, before you even tell him why you arrested him. Is that justice? No. They turned it upside down. It's worse than the civilian era. I mean, the military era, because the military will give you the decree. You know the decree you are violating or whatever. So believe me, throwing a blanket to say, oh, all civil military takeovers are not good. In this case, it is better than what is going on. Put yourself in David Hundayin's shoes, where the government has not secured any indictment. There is no court in Nigeria that I can say they have cited that released the indictment on him, yet he's in hiding. So, and especially where the government is being handled by this man that I don't know whether he was the one Mario Puzo saw when he wrote that his novel Godfather. But he's acting worse than Mario Puzo's Godfather. He's even acting worse than Al Capone. In fact, he's acting worse than all of them. He will not say it in your face, but just say something, and by the time you get home, his boys are there waiting for you. Yeah. Now DSS, which is supposed to be a very high and elite division of our law enforcement, DSS is now being used as thugs. Somebody says something he doesn't like, the next day they are knocking at that person's door. And no court has issued any indictment on that person. So when you look at it, don't cross out military intervention under the blanket you just raised, because military under that blanket you raised is even better than this.
Well, I still doubt, because we just emerged from another military rule. Because
and it was a military that handed
call
to
Obasanjo and Buhari's eras civilian rule, because they are just military men, and they governed like the military. The only time we had a little semblance of civilian rule, was during the time of Yaradua Jonathan. During the time of Jonathan, people were free to say anything, and fewer people were harassed, really. And then it was still the same Nigerians that were saying, oh, that Jonathan was weak, that Jonathan was not strong, but he was just a civilian, a Democrat. You understand? So Obasanjo military, handed over to Yaradua. We saw some semblance of democracy, Yaradua, Jonathan, then back to the military again, Buhari. So what we are having now is just the military stuff, a lighter version of the military. Okay, remember that during the military.
I'll give you an example. During Buhari, Ruben Abati and co, you can listen to them and see that they are speaking from their hearts. Now, this man is over. He's a civilian.
Yeah.
Look at Ruben Abati biting his tongue. All of a sudden, Ruben Abati is now sounding like a kid who doesn't understand anything. This is somebody that got his PhD at 24 or 25, somewhere thereabouts. Look at him sounding like a sellout under this man. Was he like this under Buhari a few months back? No. So that gives you a good idea of what this man is doing under the ground and under the table. It's worse than the military.
But is just one case in
No,
many, because you can't just use women Abati. We had a pharmacist. A pharmacist was arrested during Buhari's time for tweeting, and that guy is still under detention.
So let me give you
some journalists have been detained. So if you say Buhari did not harass anybody, I don't know.
How about Rufai? I didn't say he did not harass anybody. I'm saying that this is worse than his. But how about Rufai? All of a sudden, Rufai is not even saying out everything he wants to say, but you can get snippets from what he will say. He's being gagged.
And it didn't start today, really. But, for Ruben Abati, don't rule out regional bias.
All of those were considered. Let me give you the one that I want you to tell me. During the campaigns, did you see how Peter Obi united the North, the South, the West, the East? He united Nigeria in his campaign. Now, all of a sudden, this man is gradually trying to tear us apart the way he came.
Is he really tearing?
Well, look at what he's doing. Look at everything he's doing. He's now trying to regionalize everything. Wole Soyinka is now becoming an advocate for him.
No, Wole Soyinka has always been for Tinubu.
Wait.
For years.
I've always thought that Wole Soyinka is an honest man.
No, Wole Soyinka, if you have been following Wole Soyinka, even before Buhari came to power.
Remember, he was a political radical. He was a political radical too.
Even before Buhari came to power, there was a time, that time Jonathan was in power, and Wole Soyinka used to even join demonstrations sponsored by Tinubu. Anyway, when Jonathan was in power. So, Tinubu, I think he celebrated his birthday, and Wole Soyinka was there, and he poured encomiums on Tinubu, and he indirectly solicited for contracts on rice, which Tinubu gave him. So that Wole Soyinka is supporting Tinubu is not today. He has been with Tinubu for more than 10 years.
Okay, but
he's his friend now. He's his friend now. When Tinubu was in exile, he used to travel down to UK. He's his friend now for long.
So good. For people that have known the relationship between Soyinka and Tinubu, they are not surprised.
A good friend is one that will call his friend to the side and say, "Oh boy, this thing you they do no work, do on this way." That's a good friend. But a good friend that will be coming and any nonsense you say, he will start amplifying it as the fact. That is a dangerous friend.
You are talking about military. Remember Obasanjo, a military man, during his civilian regime, ordered the killing of more than 2,000 youths in Zakibiam.
What's the word?
Tinubu might not go that length to order the killing of thousands of people.
Don't use that K word.
Huh?
That K word. They don't allow it on this platform.
Okay.
Just use the word "pie."
Okay. Yeah. All right. So the atrocities that the military committed, they were quite grievous. Then during Abacha's time, you're even saying that they are gagging Rufai. During Abacha's time, after you even finish that, why you are even making that broadcast? Military boys will come there, slap everybody, handcuff everybody, and put in detention. And
they both have the same effect.
Tie all of them.
That's the same effect. The same.
That's even compare military. What we should be. we should even be working towards is for you know, a trustworthy civilian to come in, somebody that has the interest of the people at heart. Because when you are talking of the military, who will take over in the military? The military, you know, of Nigeria, as we speak now, is dominated by people of northwestern origin
You
and
know the
northeastern origin, and
you
you
know
know their educational standing.
you know
That
the problem.
states like Zamfara, Sokoto, if you look at the educational indices, it's so disappointing. It's even below Niger Republic
All,
standard.
all
And
understood.
those are places where people that will take over in the so-called military are from. So how on earth, how on earth do you expect them to do something spectacular? So when you are saying military taking over, yes, we know that there are some countries, probably in Asia, in some places where military took over, you know, and they did quite great, but not in Nigeria, because we are talking who are the people in that military, you
You see,
know, who are
when
the
you say what you're saying, this is where I'm coming from. What is the better alternative? What is the better
so
mousetrap that you can offer now?
okay. So when Peter Obi was campaigning, he, you know, he stated emphatically and quite frequently, you know, that what we're embarking on is not an easy task.
That's what I'm saying.
You understand my point? So these people will
If
put
the
up a
Supreme
fight.
Court,
That they are
the,
putting up a fight doesn't mean that they will not be defeated.
good.
You understand my point? They will surely be defeated.
If the Supreme Court messes up now, what is that next alternative you will prefer to us?
Okay, if the Supreme Court messes up,
Yes.
you know, well, there could be a number of alternatives. There may be a
Okay.
revolution.
Okay.
A people,
Name them.
a people piloted revolution is better than a military takeover.
Okay.
Another option is to continue the advocacy. You know, the people will still
And
continue pushing. If you try one and then you don't get it, you might try another time. Yes,
you know what
because it's
I'm
going
saying?
to be difficult. So when the military takes over now, you know, and then they bring in one unintelligent person, and person comes up, he will not live for the next 20 years. He will borrow billions of dollars and buy over the whoever will oppose him, and then they
You know
even
what I'm
tell
thinking. You know what
Britain
I'm
and the rest
thinking.
of them to come and be mining gold as they want, and they will
If
all support him, and he
if
will take the country back like Buhari has taken us back more than 20 years. That military person will even take us back more than 100 years. So that's not the solution, you know, just to bring the military because we want these guys out. You know, these guys staying another 4 years is still better than having a military person coming in. Those
God forbid,
military rule is not
God
my thing.
God God forbid, he took over about 6 months ago, not up to 6 months ago. And how much is a dollar now in naira? How much is a gallon of a liter of petrol gas? God forbid that he even completes 1 year in that trajectory. He has just borrowed another $700 million, and that will keep messing us up and sending the country back. The point, the point is this: if the Supreme Court messes up,
Yeah.
and then this man goes to his bedroom at night and says, "You know what? Okay, I got it," and he picks up his phone. He calls Atiku. He calls P2B. He will have a meeting with them. And in that meeting, Atiku, give me the name of uh, 10 ministers you want. Obi, give me the name of 10 ministers you want. Let me put them here and work with them. And in whatever situation that he's very confused now, in fact, in other words, he will fire all his handlers now and work on a unity government, something that will be similar to what Nelson Mandela would prefer. And the remaining of his 3 more years or 4 years, he will be working hand in glove with Atiku and Obi and working with their suggestions. Believe me, Nigeria will feel better. And then Obi will get the youths to, even give him the list of the ministers they want and stuff like that. So it will now become a government. It will no longer be this nonsense shenanigan that he's doing with his cronies. But first, he has to stop laying emphasis on money. Money is not it. Money is good, but when you do good things that make the people, in other words, don't give them fish today, teach them how to fish. If he will do it in that spirit of oneness, brotherhood, and everything, and bring Atiku and Obi closer, make them more serious advisors on certain issues, and then get them publicly to produce their own ministers, and he will put them in there and send some of his guys off. Then the appearance will start looking good for Nigeria. Other than that, I think this thing, the trajectory he's on, is a dead end, because the trajectory he's on is on put my crony here, put my crony there. No, you have had enough money in your life. Any money you have not gotten by now, forget it, Mr. Tinubu. So for that reason, do something for the future of those Sheyi's children and his grandchildren, which are your great-grandchildren. Do something that in the future, those kids will say, yes, that their grandpa did something to unite us. Stop all this trying to divide and conquer. That's when you are fighting with your enemies. Here, we are all brothers. So whenever you do things, do it in the right spirit. If the court messes up and he retains this power, this is the way he will go. And Nigeria, you will even see me turn around to support him. Because Peter Obi will give his own ministers, Atiku will give his own ministers, and we will see all of them working. So the point is, other than that, honestly, I do not have anything against the military going to take over, because what we are going to end up with in 2 years or 3 years from now will be worse than anything. Of course, the fifth arm of the government, which is the people, well, that is the alternative that will be great. But considering the fact that you are dealing with a godfather, one of those Mario Puzo's characters, you can tell that he is a ruthless buyer, and he will not flinch to order the military to slaughter their own brothers and sisters. That is not what we are looking for. So the best thing is, like those Nigerian pastors that are doing all this prophesying, they should be praying that if the Supreme Court does the wrong thing, that God himself will go and change this man's heart and make it in such a way that he will see a greater opportunity by bringing Obi and Atiku, getting them to submit their own ministers, sack some of these ones he appointed and getting those ones in, and working with a very, very strong unity government. I mean, it might be far-fetched, but that is if he is still hung on this his where he's hanging. But if he will think just a second time, he will see that that is the best way to approach it.
Well, yeah. The issue of that unity government. So I'm not, a big fan of it because number one, it kills democracy, it
You,
kills
you see,
opposition.
you see,
And
you tailor your own to fit your own. In this case, forget about what name you call it. Don't even call it unity anything. Just say brotherhood. Hey, brother, bring your ministers. Brother, give it any name that makes you understand it very well and work with it. Forget the name. Other countries have given something like that and didn't work for them. Look at Nigeria's specific position and the situation. With okay, let me give it this way. They all won 12 states. This one 12 states, this one 12 states, this one 12 states, and FCT. Tinubu got 8.9 million. Atiku 6.9. Obi 6.1. Between Atiku and Obi, they have more votes than him. So don't you think that if he, okay, let's say the court messes up and says, okay, that he can continue. And the next day, he gets up, he calls Atiku and Obi, hey guys, let's push this country forward. And while he's talking to them, he has all those his handlers in the next room. He doesn't want them in that room to even listen to him. And he's like, Atiku, give me 12 ministers. Obi, give me 12 ministers. And he will announce it also. They will announce it nationally that, yep, we brought these ones and we brought this one. And then he looks and he says, hey, Obi, I see during the campaign that you did a whole lot of study on this thing, maybe hydroelectric power. Please, can you help me be that eye and whatever on that? Atiku, I see that you are very good in this black 111.
Please, Engineer
Please.
Francis, let's round up in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. So, and then he will get them to give him the best in their own area. And he can now implement it for the advancement of Nigeria. I know that it will be difficult for him because he does not know anything like that. But if the court messes up and he remains with this power, I think his best advice is to think along these lines. It may not be exactly the way I have said it, but something along these lines that will help unite Nigeria. Because if Obi says, okay, the point you will be making is whether Obi will agree to even have that kind of talk with him. But if Obi agrees and says, okay, these are the youths that I represent and these are the
Can I
ministers.
interject you?
Go ahead.
So I don't even think we should be thinking about forming a unity government with who? With this character?
Yeah, that's the big problem.
No, we cannot. We cannot even be discussing that. No. This is not a character that you even no. This guy is a drug baron. We have a case in Chicago. 25 about 2,500 pages. FBI, the Quran and the Holy Bible, they don't have that many pages of that many pages.
That many pages combined. That's true.
No, we cannot.
In fact, even if you give Tinubu as he is, all saints, as all ministers, saints, heads of all the parastatals, and then with Tinubu as the head, the country will still be in shambles. So Peter Obi is not there
we cannot even
just
discuss
to
that.
play politics. So
we cannot even discuss that. with a
He's
T.
there. He's there to change Nigeria.
No, no, no,
You
no, no.
know, so it's not about him joining forces with anybody. The reason why people are behind P2B are sacrificing everything. You know, see how we are sacrificing our time. It's past 2 a.m. now in the UK. You know, it's because he's proven. You understand? He's
Yeah.
tested and trusted, and that's why people are ready to go the extra mile to see that he comes in there, not to form a the day Peter Obi agrees to form anything with Tinubu, then is
That
to your
that
point to Israel.
that's the day everything left through the window.
Ah,
Well, unfortunately, Tinubu does not think that way anyway, so his head doesn't cannot accommodate something like
but
that.
let me go and sleep. It's already past
Uh,
2 a.m. All right,
all right, and
thank you everybody.
all right.
Bye.
Good night. I'm
Yeah.
about to call it the
Good
night
night.
too.
Thank you very much, sir. I
And
appreciate every one of you right there. We're going to be coming back again later on. Please endeavor to join us.
Niger Watch, you're still awake?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you,
Wow,
sir.
this is serious dedication. This is
Thank you very
serious
much, sir.
dedication.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Join us by 6 p.m. If there's any reason to come out before 6 p.m., we're going to be here. Remember, we are waiting for what the court will say in Chicago today. So look forward to joining us anytime we come up. But if not, 6 p.m. our regular time. Join us. Take care, my people. Press on the like button. Help us to share. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we're here. Have
All
a good
right.
night.
I will get some information on that thing and I'll email it to you.
Okay, sir.
Mr.
Thank you very
Elvis,
much.
thank you very much for today. Honestly, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank you,
so
my
much
dear
for what
brother.
you're doing. God
Thank
bless
you.
you, sir.
I appreciate you too, my brother. Thank you so much. Mr. Jonathan, thank you so much. Mr. F. Emmanuel, thank you so much. We all are stay here. So let's do it again by 6 p.m. by God's grace. Good night, my people, and bye for now.
All right.